I take zero pleasure in recording this today. But Elon Musk said today that civil war is inevitable. He's talking about in England, but I think it goes far beyond that. He was specifically talking about what's happening in the neighborhoods over there, which, to the best that I understand it, was a situation where the behavior of recent immigrants are creating chaos and crime, and that there's an unequal response of police to these crimes, that in fact the police are looking the other way. We've heard this throughout Europe, in France and Belgium and other places where the police are not allowed to go in these no-go zones and that they're just not enforcing the law as they should. This is not just an England problem, it's showing up throughout Europe, any place where these massive influxes of immigrants have recently moved in, and there is a little, not very much assimilation taking place. Partially that would be because of the time that these people have been there, but also because to a great extent they're either disinclined to assimilate, or it may be that just the large populations, it's just going to take much longer than usual for that assimilation to take place. Many people argue that they'll never assimilate because of various cultural reasons, religious reasons, etc. I don't know if that's true or not. And by the way, I am as pro-immigrant as it can go, but I'm not pro-immigration on a mass scale that doesn't include some thought and some planning, and also takes into consideration some vetting of the people that you're allowing into your country. Well, that's the immediate story, but I want to go a bit deeper into this because I think it may become one of the biggest issues of this decade. Let me start here. Other than the January 6th debacle, which I feel is a very bad idea in many ways, the riots in Western countries, which include destroying businesses and property, burning down buildings and vehicles, and often hurting individuals, are 100% coming from anti-Semites, anti-Israelites, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and multiple other leftist causes. If you can point to a significant riot in the last 50 years that was from the right in the United States, I'll modify my claim. At the same time, we now have leftists who are clearly anti-white, clearly stating their anti-white thinking, anti-male, very clearly, anti-wealthy, anti-Christian for sure, and anti anyone who has done well as a group. My concern, and I think this is the concern of Elon, comes down to what I call the short fuse, long fuse theory. Short fuses go on tiny firecrackers, and long fuses are for huge bombs. While the riots from the left have been horrific and costly, they have been relatively small compared to what they might have been. They were the result of short fuses on subject matter of the day issues that were stoked into something big, generally based on a lie, commonly based on a lie. Importantly, the leadership on the left doesn't condemn this behavior. In fact, they have to be dragged kicking and screaming before Congress before they'll even acknowledge that there is a problem. But at some point, the backlash to all of this might be starting to light a super long fuse on the rest of the population. And people talk about it being the right or the far right. No, I think it includes way more than the right and or the far right. The question is whether that population will exercise its might, because it has way more might than these few, by legislation, or will it be judicial action? Will it be voting? Or where it comes the time where that frustration boils over into something far more tragic. We've seen some of this with small groups that have been showing up at left-wing demonstrations to do counter demonstrations, and these have sometimes resulted in some dust-ups. They haven't really been significant. I would suggest to the loony part of the left that they don't want to learn what the results will look like between a fight between those chosen to fight based on merit and strength against a force that would be selected by DEI. I'm in no way, and not 100%, I am so pacifistic in general in my life because I'm a little guy, and little guys tend to be like, no, I don't want to fight. So I'm no way calling for or hoping for such a small or big fight. I'm merely pointing out the detail of what Elon so pithily pointed to. And you guys know I don't ever do anything pithy. But what do you think about what I'm saying here? And do you think I've got it right about what Elon is saying? And do you think it was a good idea for him to point it out? And do you think this is the direction we're headed? Or do you think that we're making a mountain out of a molehill? I'd love to hear in your comments below. It's been great talking to you.